Dear Ikechukwu, have you noticed the tendency to compare that exists in our world today? You see, while I was growing up, comparison had limits because you could only compare yourself with those around you, your friends, neighbors, and those you went to school with. And for me, that was manageable. But these days, you seem to be in competition with everyone in the world, irrespective of context. The unfortunate issue with comparison, and especially in the social media age, is that you can never win or be ahead, because there's always going to be someone who seems to be ahead of you. Someone who posts a nicer car, a better vacation photo, a better new job, or a bigger house. It is a never-ending circle that will leave you drained if you fall for it. You see, social media is a highlight reel where people highlight the best part of their lives, but don't show where they are failing or where things are not working. And that is even when people are honest. And as you know, they are not always honest. So there you sit with your real life, the good and the not so good, where you have all the context and leave all the details. And then you compare it with a version of other people's lives that you have no idea about. And yet, that is exactly what most of us do. If you find yourself comparing your full reality to someone else's highlight reel, then I must say that your familiarity with yourself may be making you to look down on yourself. And I must say, come on, snap out of it. But I know that snapping out of it is usually easier said than done, because before we can stop doing something, we need to understand why we do it in the first place. Why do we compare ourselves with others? You see, comparison is a kind of measurement. As humans, we have a tendency to measure, to see where we are or how far we have come relative to a destination. And by nature, we tend to look outward consistently, and we grow up thinking that should be the way to measure ourselves. And I must say that this didn't start recently. It started the moment we were born. In our first few years, we spend time absorbing everything from the people in our environment. We look to them to define us. For example, it is by looking at others, our parents and other kids, that we know we should talk. So we start trying to talk as kids until we can communicate. The same applies to walking. We are regularly influenced by our environment and may come to think that our environment is the only medium to measure ourselves by. It is the case of what served us in the past as kids, becoming an impediment to our future progression. And here's the thing, and what I have found. The reason comparing yourself with others is a false measurement is because you don't have all the context. You may have yours, but you have absolutely no idea about the other person. You do not know where they are going or where they are coming from. So you might wonder, so if I don't compare myself with others, how then should I measure my progress? Here's the thing. Let me start with what I believe to be the foundation. Psalms chapter 139 verse 14 says, "You are wonderfully and beautifully made." Think about it. There is no other person like you in this world. You are one of a kind, specially crafted for a specific purpose. And if that is true, and I believe it is, then it means we each have a unique destination, a defined purpose that God assigned to us. So, what I'm saying is that the answer to your question is this: measure yourself relative to where you are going. Not where someone else is going, where you are going. And you may say, like most people would say, but I don't know my purpose yet. Yeah, I get you. And I really think that's fine for now. That is why I told you in my last episode to choose an end for yourself. So if you have not watched it, please go watch it, because it will help you to digest this better. You see, I was speaking with someone recently, a young man, a professional, educated, clearly capable person. And as he spoke, I could hear the exhaustion in his voice. He was watching younger colleagues excel and feeling like he was disappearing, like everyone around him was moving forward and he was the only one standing still. And you know the worst part? He had started to believe it. He had started to accept that maybe, just maybe, he wasn't enough. He wasn't behind. He wasn't falling. He wasn't failing. And that broke my heart. Because sitting across from him, I could see everything he couldn't see about himself. He just had no idea where he was going. And you see, without a destination, everyone else's destination looks like yours. But here's what I found helps most when it comes to measuring yourself properly. It is a concept by Dan Sullivan called the gap and the gain. I must say it is basically the cup half full or half empty thinking. You see, when we live in the gap, we are comparing where we are with where we hope to be. We are focusing on all we have failed to achieve or accomplish so far. And I must tell you that this way of measuring almost always leads to frustration and disappointment. It creates a sense of guilt and sometimes lower self-esteem. And I must say, these are all depressive thoughts. But on the other hand, thankfully, on the other hand, is the gain, which focuses on what you have achieved, what you have been able to achieve so far, or what you have been able to become so far. It is the perspective of counting your blessings. It is the thankfulness perspective. Remember that we are always thankful for what has already happened. It forces you to recognize that even though you have not achieved everything you planned, you have achieved and become more than you were when you started. It gives you the motivation and makes you think, if I could do this, then I could achieve the next. I must say, it gives you the I can do mentality because you see that you have done. It creates a sense of satisfaction, deep satisfaction and optimism, and improves your confidence and self-esteem, which I must say are all very important for your further development and advancement. And I must say that that is the antidote to the comparison trap. It's not trying to stop comparing, but learning to measure differently from where you started, not from where someone else is. So, the next time you pick up your phone and feel that familiar pull, that quiet voice that says everyone is ahead of you, remember this: you are not behind. You are not in a competition. You are on your own journey, moving towards your own destination, carrying a story that belongs only to you. So I urge you, measure from there and nowhere else. I am God's Willie Kitchko, and this is From Within. See you in the next one.